Here's how ADD helped me be successful in math. In high school, the tendency is to teach students a variety of processes to solve problems. The reason for this is that teaching people concepts and understanding is actually quite difficult in a classroom setting. And it's much more efficient if students have to perform a certain way on a test to teach them specific skills that will enable them to be successful at answering specific questions, even if they don't fully understand. The problem for someone with ADD, like myself, is after a certain amount of time, you build up a huge number of different processes that you're trying to remember. And with problems with organization and working memory, this becomes an insurmountable task. How I was fortunate is that my ADD actually prevented me from really being able to pay attention to my high school math teachers. And so I ended up learning everything and teaching everything to myself in math. And this was actually incredibly powerful because in addition to not being able to pay attention, I very quickly realized that when there are many different ways to solve a problem, I'm not going to be able to keep track of them. So what I needed to do was to take all those different ways and try and summarize them and bring them together and then pare them down until I came up with a concept that I could use to solve all the problems. And while I was doing math, I was continually trying to minimize the number of rules or the set of rules that I had to work with because of memory issues. And ultimately what that left me with was a core of fundamental math understandings that would enable me to solve many different problems. This, I think, is a more accessible and successful way for students with ADD to learn. If you have only a limited amount of attention you can devote to something, devote that attention to an understanding that will enable you to have the greatest flexibility in how you deal with problems. For an example of this, a great video to check out would be my video on the rules of algebra.